Hello. Here I am again. I decided I wanted to do 21 questions because I realized I really haven't said much about myself. Which is bound to happen starting out. But I was only able to get 14 questions because most of them I did not like. A lot of 21 questions lists are spicy or flirty, and I just have nothing interesting to say to that, nor am I interested in sharing. So I have my computer out. I'm a Surface Squirrel, and it is on 15%. So I think I can make it, but we'll see. Just going down the list. Okay. Number 1. What is the weirdest dream you've ever had? Let's see. I, for the most part, don't remember my dreams. I've actually started writing them down recently in the hopes that, I can gather a good bunch and then maybe I'll share them and there'll be something interesting in there. But I do have a few that I remember really distinctly, that I just remember being weird. Like, there was about a week or two where I had a couple dreams where I did murders. I hope YouTube is okay with me saying that. And those were really like weird to wake up from, because in the dream I would be doing like such violent acts and then I just wake up and all the like stress that I had in my head about doing this thing and what the consequences would be, and basically, how you do something that's going to change your life forever, and you realize that in the moment that's what's happening, that's really stressful. And then I wake up and it's like none of that, which is a relief, but it's also like scary, like to see yourself in that way, as someone who is capable of something like that, and very disorienting, to have like that rage in you and that stress, and then wake up and be in like a completely different reality. But that's a lot of dreams. I think that's the one that's probably disturbed me the most. But the weirdest dream, I think, I felt sort of like I was watching a movie as a dream. And it's not like I was there until, in dreams, there's like cuts and there's like weird dream logic. So there was one point where like I was there, but for the most part there was just this completely different person separate from me. Not someone I recognize from my life either, though they say, you don't make up faces in dreams, it's someone you've seen. So it must have been someone. But the idea was there was this like person, and in this like dream world there was a train that would basically take you to another dimension or like reality, and you would become a different person. But it's not like you fully became them, you sort of replaced them in their body. And I think this was a service people could pay for. So I was dreaming about this woman who was having this experience living as someone else as research for some writing that she was doing. But the like stress of being someone else and like pretending to be someone else because other people around didn't know. And I think it was kind of nefarious this woman whose life she was taking over, people were like, you're being weird. And so somewhere towards the end, someone like foiled her disguise, and I think just water hit it and it started to like melt. And I am like consciously thinking, like, as if I'm watching this in a real movie, like, if water can ruin your disguise, it's not a good disguise. But, you know, the characters in the dream are like, what's going on? That's weird. What's happening? And she like runs away. And then I sort of see the mechanism that like turns her into this other person. And it's like if your body was split and opened and there was just thick like gummy layers just open. And that really freaks me out a little bit. I hope that wasn't tedious, you know, as dream explaining can be. That's why I'm trying to write down my dreams so that I can tell them like more in a story form, so they make sense. But that was just something weird that stuck with me as a dream, and I kind of wish I could find a way to logic it out to write it as a real story, because I think there's some stuff there, but the way that dream logic is to make it fit for someone to read or watch through, it's harder to accept dream logic things when you're awake. So to make them make sense, to relay that information to someone else is really difficult, especially with something as weird as that. But okay, on to number 2. If you could travel to any year in a time machine, what year would you choose and why? I would go to the mid-70s and buy a bunch of clothes. And leave. That's basically it. I just want vintage clothes. I would also love to see dinosaurs. Sometimes I think about how I'll never really know what a dinosaur looks like, and it just kills me inside a little bit. Moving on. What is one of the most fun childhood memories you have? Let's see. At my pre-kindergarten or like preschool, the memory of this is kind of like foggy because I was so young, but there was a big field of like buttercups or daffodils, and in my child brain it went on to eternity. Just yellow flowers, just swaying, like that poem, The Daffodils. So that, not, you know, an interesting story, but that's just an image I have in my mind. And I think I like that pre-K a lot. And I actually wanted to like look it up and see if the school was still opened. But when I Googled the name that I had called it when I was like 4, it wasn't, like, there were no results. And I think it's because I didn't know the actual name of the school, and I just called it, like, my teacher's name. But it's like a virtue name, like Faith, let's say. So it sounded like it could have been a school, since I went to Catholic schools. The kindergarten I don't think it wasn't. But I went to Catholic schools, so they had those like faithy like names, or, you know, something related. So it didn't sound off to me until like a couple months ago. I went to look it up, and it wasn't in existence. And I texted my mom what the name of the school was, and she didn't reply back, and I didn't ask her again. Maybe I'll ask her a little bit later. But in general, that school was fun. I remember another memory I have is one day it was raining out, so we didn't have recess, and I really wanted to go down the slide. So when my mom came to pick me up, I like broke out of her hand and ran up and went down the slide and got wet all over, and I hated it and regretted it immediately, and she was mad at me. see. What's your favorite movie to watch over and over again? Is that the third one? Yes. Favorite movie. I have a hard time with picking favorite anything because I just get sometimes I'm just in the mood for stuff, and sometimes I'm not. So I don't really think in favorites. I've watched season 1 of Stranger Things probably 7 times. One of the best movies I think I've seen is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I really want to watch it again. Another of my favorite movies, also by A24, is Swiss Army Man, which I highly recommend. That's one of my favorite. The trigger warning for that one, though, for a couple scenes. Yeah, I think I would say that's it. Sure. Let's see. Favorite season of the year. I think it's spring. Though spring is really short, you know, the transitional times. I would say probably either spring or fall when the weather's more mild. I like summer in a way, but it's so hot and I don't have air conditioning. So maybe in the future, summer will return to being my favorite. It was my favorite because my birthday's in the summer. But it's too hot. I think the spring because, you know, I can wear whatever outfit I want. Like in the winter right now, I put on clothes and I'm like, I'm not going to try, it just needs to be warm. But I'm trying to dress up a little bit more to go to work and stuff. Just to make myself feel better and like be more engaged in my body. Let's see. What's the best advice you've ever received? I did plan to read these and take notes on answers, so I wouldn't be like thinking the whole time, but I didn't do that. Best advice. Here's one. I don't know if this is the best advice, but this is definitely something I've been thinking about. Okay. To some of the best advice, situation, don't shit where you eat. Figuratively, but also literally. Dream road trip destination, Grand Canyon. I want to see the desert. Favorite food of all time. Again, I don't really think in favorites, but a little sneak snack I like to eat is tomatoes. Just like raw tomatoes, maybe with salt, maybe without. I had a minor breakdown, but we're pressing ahead. Let's see. What are 3 items on your bucket list? I don't really have a bucket list, and sometimes I think maybe I should start one, but my goals aren't like exciting. Like I want to get out of this teddy bear room. That's the number one. That's the number one. Let's see. Something that I've wanted to do is be featured in a magazine. I think that would be really cool. That's one of my dreams. And third thing, I feel like this is the same as the road trip. Actually, maybe a road trip is my bucket list item number 3. I just very recently started driving, and yeah, I think like a day trip, that would be something fun for me to do. I need to learn how to drive on highways. I'm really scared of that. But when I do, I'll put that on my bucket list. Let's see. What's your favorite thing about yourself? Okay. I actually did film something about this, but maybe I was in a bad mood when I was watching it. But I didn't like it. So I guess I'll just say it here. Something I'm really grateful of my past self is that when I was like a preteen slash teenager, I didn't engage in like body bashing or like talking down on myself. And I feel like it has really contributed to the level of confidence and comfortableness that I have with myself and the way that I look. Especially when I was in high school, I could see just from the people I was around that other people were not comfortable with themselves in the same way that I was. And it's not like I always had a perfectly healthy and great like view of myself or amazing confidence all the time, but I definitely didn't do things that were bringing it down. Or you know, people make self-depreciating jokes like to try and, you know, get a laugh, like fit in, seem approachable. And I didn't do that, and I'm glad that I didn't do that, because now, you know, I'm just like comfortable with who I am. Cozy. Cozy. What is the weirdest thing in your closet? I have a few contenders. So here's number one. Fashion. I have this little puffer vest. And it goes all the way up here. Yeah. This is kind of in the same vein. My hair is very in the way, but this, I've worn this on TikTok, but I didn't really, it probably looked like it was just a coat, but it's just a dickie, and you can wear it under a light coat or a sweater, or I've worn it just like this before, but sometimes it falls off. Let's see, I feel like putting this one on, but let me go back there. Mistake. Tuck the sides in. Fashion. You wear it across like this. I was really excited to buy this coat, but I have not worn it outside. Haven't found the occasion, if you can believe. This, I don't consider this that weird. My mom said it looks like my maternity clothes, and I knew she would say that. It's from Terrell Dominic. Black owned. And she does this coat, basically in a few different colors every season. And I forget what color the most recent one I saw was. I know there's a bright pink. I was so pressed about getting this coat. I wanted it so badly. But I haven't had the occasion to wear it out. I need like a fashion-y event to go to. But I don't really care about like dressing weird. Because I'm not like super weird with the way that I dress. This is basic. But, you know, I like to spice it up. I'm trying to think if I have any other weird stuff. I think that's probably the strangest. And really, I just wanted to show those off because I like them. Let's see. What's the biggest pet peeve when it comes to social media? Everyone I know being buried under corporations in my feed. Also, this might change, but I've pretty much decided I'm not going to post art anymore because it just hasn't been working out for me. And being an artist online sucks. It just sucks. I don't like it. The visibility is bad. The work and effort it takes is bad. And then the like return on investment is bad. And I think with art, an element of comparison when it comes to social media that really sucks is taking a lot of time to create something and seeing other artists posting a lot, and then that feeling of like you have to keep up or post just as much, when a lot of the time if you go and like look at individual pages, a lot of people have a lot of time between posts. Some people work really fast, or they do a lot of work if it's like their full-time job to do art. And it's hard to remember that when you work slow and it's not your job to do art, and you have to do it like in between things. So that sucks. Also, this like AI stuff, it's like one more thing that makes me not want to do art. Yay. Tangent on that. There are artists who I know of that make original art and use AI as AI engines. Like they feed it their own pieces and then use the AI to adjust their piece, then go back and do more manual adjustments, run it through the engine again, like stuff like that. And I feel like the tech bro art theft AI is really putting them in a position where if you say, oh, I'm an AI artist, well, not everyone, but artists have like a negative opinion of you or think it's the make art good button, you know what I'm saying? So that sucks for them too. Moving on. What are the most frequently used emojis in text conversations? I got another text. Let's see. I'm filming on my phone, so I don't know. Let me go to Discord and see what my most frequent are. But for Discord, it's different. Oh no. My battery. We are now at, it just says low. It won't tell me how low. 6%. Let's see, what are my emojis? I like to use heart eyes. I like to use the crying face, sobbing. And it's like laughing, but also like pitiful. When you're laughing, but you're crying. I like to use the tombstone. I like to use the coffin. And I like to use the skull. And those all kind of mean the same thing. I like the ta-da, the like confetti. I do the eye, lips, eye a lot. And for a good amount of people, I was the first person who they ever saw use that. And they were like, what is this? Abomination. Also, tongue eye. That's very fun. The two eyes looking, like shady. That's one of my favorite. Now that they have the new hug that looks like two people hugging each other and not that hug, I like that one to express like sympathy. You know, when you want someone sad and you want to give them a hug, and that one, it doesn't feel appropriate. The face with hearts. I love the hand hearts now. That's one of my favorites. I hope Android gets that soon because I'm an Android user. Sorry. The like that face. Let's see. Thumbs up. I use thumbs up. I saw something on Tumblr saying that Gen Z hate the thumbs up emoji because it's passive aggressive. And as a Gen Z, that's a lie. I actually went and looked at what that article was talking about, and it was a Reddit thread with like 4 people in it. And what I learned from it was that those 4 people were in a toxic work environment where people were passive aggressively using the thumbs up emoji at them. So, Gen Z don't hate thumbs up emoji. Also on Discord, this heart is now an emoji. I love that. Also the smile with a single tear, fantastic emoji. Sparkles are really good, and I use them a lot. My favorite heart to use is the yellow heart because my favorite color is yellow. And let's see. Ooh. I have custom emojis in this group chat. And I would love to share them with the world. If I could text with them, my life would be fantastic. Trying to see what else I use a lot. That's about it. I've described enough emojis. Let's see. What meme best represents your life? I'll put one up that I photoshopped in the edit. I'm giving editing me that work to do. Alright, that should have been enough time. Okay, that's 21 questions minus the 7 that I didn't want to answer. 14 questions. Huzzah! Hopefully I've revealed an appropriate amount about myself. Bye!